We are live. You can see me, but I'm still going to play the sounds. Let's go, faithful. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hoorah, 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 hoorah.
This is Charles Haley. You're listening to Nothing But Niners.
This is Kyle Juszczyk, and you're listening to Nothing But Niners.
So now they've got to start from deep in their end of the field, and Garrison Hurst takes advantage of it. He takes the handoff, swings to his right, gets to the 20. He's in the 30, needs to cut in. He comes back up the right sideline, breaks a third tackle, comes down to the 30. He's down to the 20. He's down to the 10. He's down to the 5. He's in the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown! 49ers! 96-yard run from scrimmage. Garrison Hurst breaking tackle after tackle, swings down the sideline. Throws off bodies like clothes after a marathon.
Young, back to throw. In trouble, he's going to be sacked. No, gets away. He runs, gets away again, goes to the 40, gets away again, to the 35, cuts back at the 30, to the 20, the 50, the 10. He died. Touchdown, 49ers.
Third down, Alex takes the snap. Alex looking down in post, and it's good. Touchdown! Touchdown, 49ers!
It is second down. Ryan takes the snap, throws the slant to the left side. It's Russell, intercepted! The 49ers pick it, and Navarro Bowman is redemption! Navarro Bowman running it all the way for the touchdown! No greater redemption!
The San Francisco 49ers, we can do whatever we want.
Click, click, boom. What's going on, faithfuls? It's your boy Mike from the Nothing But Niners crew. And, guys, we are live on Patreon first. Patreon first, man. If you guys aren't a Patreonian yet, I don't know what you're waiting for, man. We have great game day experiences. This week, I have a special surprise for you guys. As we play on Sunday night, my wife and I have a 60th birthday party to go to for one of my buddies. So my daughters, they don't even know it yet. They're going to hear this in real life. Like, I'm about to make an announcement, and they don't even know it. But we have a 60th birthday party to go to on Sunday night that starts at 7 p.m. Our game starts at 8:20. So this means my girls are not only going to have an extended bedtime, they are going to be running the live stream on our Patreon channel for this game coming up against the Atlanta Falcons. So make some noise for my babies. So they're going to be holding this down, man, while I'm out at this game. I'll probably come home around halftime or something like that so they can go ahead and get to bed because they do have school the next morning. But while I'm at this birthday party for my man Robin, happy birthday coming up, Robin. The little ones are going to be holding us down. So if you don't want to miss any of that action, you guys head on over to patreon.com/NB9ERS. You're going to see my three blind mice running around up here, pushing buttons and talking and waving and making sure that the stream is up and running. Now, I know it's a primetime event. A lot of you guys are going to be able to see it all on your own. But there's still no place like home, man. And we have built a home here on patreon.com. Now, let me go ahead and get through the rest of these formalities really quick. Scrolling across the bottom of your screen are some instructions. If you are on YouTube, if it's your first time here and you enjoy the video, hit that like button. Like the video. Thank you. I appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel and then turn on your notifications so you know exactly when we are going live. Give us a follow on some of our social media platforms. We have Snapchat and X. Those handles are Nothing But 9 ERS. That's the number 9, Nothing But 9 ERS. We also have Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. And those handles are some variation of Nothing But Niners, spelled all the way out, no numbers in there. We have two Twitch channels. One is the way it looks on the screen right now, Nothing But Niners with spaces in between. The new one is Nothing_But_Niners. I encourage you all to get to that one. Once week 14 gets here, the bye week, we will not have access to the other one. So make sure you guys have all switched over, okay? Today's episode, we are going to be assessing the pressers. We're going to hear from Kyle Shanahan first, and we're going to hear from some players, and then we're going to hear what Robert Saleh and Clay Kubiak had to say today concerning the San Francisco 49ers. So let's stop beating around the bush. Let's go ahead and get into it. Here's Kyle. All right. Let me take this border off. Let me put on the closed captions. I want you guys to be able to see everything clearly, Lenny. Clearly. All right. Closed captions on. And here we go.
What's up, guys? All right, injuries for today. We got Yetur knee, hamstring will be out. Ricky knee will be out. Sky Moore ankle will be out. Trent Williams vet day. Christian vet day. Jordan Watkins calf limited. Brock Purdy toe limited. Mac Jones knee oblique limited. Pooney knee limited. Kevin Givens pec limited. Juwan Jennings ankle rib shoulder limited. Renardo Green neck limited. CJ West thumb limited. George Kittle hamstring limited. Clea Davis hand limited. Michael Williams thumb. Oh wait, those guys are full. Go ahead.
Excuse me, bitch? Are you fucking kidding me?
Put the whole squad on IR. Just forget about it. Forget about it, man. No, I'm kidding, man. Listen, this has made its rounds already on the social media platforms. I'm sure you guys have heard that. I don't think there was anything new on that list that was really overly concerning. It's never a good thing to hear all of those injuries on your favorite team, but it is what it is. But guys, I don't think this is anything that's going to really slow us down. In fact, George Kittle being listed as limited in practice today is a positive sign. It's a good step in the right direction. This offense is going to need some help, so the return of Kittle may be a blessing in disguise. All right, but let's go ahead and keep this party going. All right.
Has Ricky's knee turned out to be more problematic than anticipated?
We hoped it would go faster, but it's thing that's normal and just taken. It's not going faster than expected, but he's better this week than last week, and hopefully it continues.
And as far as Fred Warner's surgery, did that go as expected? And then follow-up question, you said 3 months. People do the math and come up with, mid-January and think, is playoffs a possibility if the 49ers make the playoffs?
You distracted me now. What were the other two questions before that one?
How did the surgery go?
The surgery went good. Just talking to everyone, they said it went great. I just threw out there 3 months, but we haven't thought about that yet. We haven't just had surgery yesterday, so we'll see how that goes, but not thinking about that right now.
Kyle has already said that he hates when he has to come out and say a time frame or expected time frame because then the media tries to hold him to it. There's setbacks, there's advancements and all that stuff. Look, he's on IR. If we get him back this season, great. He'll be back next year for sure. That's all that we have to worry about. Do we want to rush a guy with a bad ankle back out on the field? Probably not, right? So let's let this guy heal up. Let's worry about playoffs if we get there. Yes, the Niners are in first place in the NFC West, but it's a three-way tie right now. There's three teams with a 4-2 record in the NFC West. This is anyone's division for the taking. Even the Cardinals aren't eliminated. So let's just see how things go, guys.
Right now.
What kind of boost does George give you coming back and also in the running game especially?
Just having another good blocker always helps. I thought the other tight ends have blocked well, though, and just having him back in the pass game I think is huge. Just having an explosive athlete out there who can run away from people, and but both, just having him on the field on every offensive play helps.
In the interior offensive line, how much was it your guys' struggle, and how much of it was Vita Vea just wrecking a lot of things?
I think it's a little both. Vita's a real good player, so he's going to have some of his. I thought there was a number that we could have done better on, but it wasn't as simple as one answer, a little bit of both.
What's been your assessment of Kendrick Bourne? He's obviously put up some big numbers, but then there's been some pre-snap stuff, some blocking questions. Overall, where do you assess his play? Has he gotten better since he got here?
Yeah, definitely. For someone just to hop in here week 2 and get thrown into a starting role by week 4, I think been very appreciative that we've been able to have Bourne here. He's helped us out a lot. By no means is it perfect like anybody, but he's getting better each week at catching up with the offense and stuff like that, and I feel we've been fortunate to have him, though.
He was a rookie, like a lot of rookies. There were issues with being on time and everything. He's a 30-year-old man now. Can you kind of discuss the ways in which he's matured?
Yeah, he's unbelievable now. I think he's one of the more adults in the building, which I don't think I would have ever said that 6 years ago. But KB was late his first few weeks, and then he corrected that before his rookie year ended. He got really consistent with being on time after he started out a little bit bad. But by the time KB left here, I thought he was extremely mature and come a long way in his 4 years, I believe he had with us. And and then just now seeing him 4 or 5 years later, 6 years later, whatever it's been, he's full. He's a grown-up. Speaks like he went to Ivy League now. Got a very good, strong foundation in his faith, and love having him in the building. Always have, and it's just a good now, if not better.
How's Brock handled being out these 4 games and just having to, I guess, live vicariously through the film and watch more than he ever has since becoming a starter?
I mean, I think you can ask him to know for sure, but I'm sure like a lot of players, it sucks to be such a big part of it and something that you work for year round and then not to be able to do much because of injuries. So I know injuries frustrate people, but Brock's handling it right like he does everything, but I know he's itching to get back and feel good again.
Mac is more limited than Brock right now, or are they sort of the same?
No, Brock's more limited than Mac.
Question for George Kittle that was just asked by Cam about Brock Purdy. How's George Kittle kind of been handling having to be off the field, I should say, but then also now that he's inching his way back in, what is he saying to you guys? Like, what's the vibe with him?
Today it's been good. Just had a good meeting, had a good walkthrough, and he's ready for practice today. So, I think same answer. When guys are out, George loves playing football and he works all year round for it. So when they're not able to do that, it's frustrating for them. Had a big hamstring pull, which there's a lot of different degrees of it. His was a big one. He's rehabbed so hard to get back, and I know he's excited to get back.
I was looking at Atlanta's numbers. They have 14 sacks, but it's from like 10 different guys. What do you see when you watch their defense?
I see a bunch of good guys.
Great question. My biggest criticism of the last couple of ones was how our media was just focusing so much on the pass game. Now, they're not going to do it because it's a loss, right? But it's good to turn the page, and this is something that's really good. This is going to add pressure to the 49ers front office. We're having problems protecting quarterbacks, obviously, right? Both of our quarterbacks are all banged up and questionable for the game. And then you flip the page and you like, all right, well, we're not getting any better. How are we going to do it? Yeah, George Kittle's coming back, and he's going to be an extension of the offensive line. But all these guys are getting sacks. So all of these guys are going to have their hands full. Like, what are you going to do? Kyle says it right. I see a bunch of good guys. Yeah, there's a bunch of good guys that are young and all that stuff. I'm sure he's going to get into it more. But we need some help on this offensive line. So great question there.
They're all very active. They're young. They play with an extremely good motor. Every one of them has the ability to rush the quarterback. I think their scheme and just how they coach them, their effort and everything is very good. They're playing the right way, and they're talented.
Demarcus Robinson, is he a little rusty coming off the suspension?
Yeah, I think it's always hard for guys, especially him not being here before this year and then having a month where he had to be away. But D-Rob's catching up with that stuff, and he's helping us when his number's called.
How much can George impact the team as a leader?
I think George always can. George is one of our leaders here. All the guys who've been around for a while, George has been here since the beginning. Also one of our better players. So anytime you have guys like that, I do think they're always a big impact.
How has Trent handled playing next to Connor? Understandably, he's still trying to figure out a lot of things, and there's some added difficulty.
For Trent, just playing next to? I don't think so. I think that stuff's a little bit overrated. Everyone moves in unison. The guys next to each other do it more often than not, but I feel it's all 5 guys moving together, and but I don't think it's affected Trent.
You went back and watched the film. What was your impression of the performance that Tatum Bethune had?
I thought Tatum did a real good job. He had a couple of mistakes,
good question
which
again.
Were understandable, kind of what I think I was saying on Monday. But there was a lot of clips that, I was telling everyone when I get on the plane, I start watching the tape. It starts off a little depressing for me, just how the game went and thinking about it without Fred. And then I stopped and rewatched it a different way from a different light. And it was very inspiring watching how Tatum played. A bunch of our young guys, some good things on that tape. Got to clean up some mistakes that we made. But I liked how the film looked and how the guys played.
We have D continue to wear the green dot in communication, or would Tatum take that?
Tatum, yeah.
Fred Warner in his absence. Christian McCaffrey kind of shared some
To
thoughts.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Oh, Fred Warner.
Yeah.
Fred Warner in his absence. Christian McCaffrey kind of went on social media and shared, we go to war for our brothers. Just wondering if any inspiring speeches, conversations, or just any type of talk amongst the team itself, players itself, has happened since the loss of now both Nick Bosa and Fred Warner.
Oh, I'm sure guys do individually. We don't have a big kumbaya or anything over that and have everyone share an inspirational deal, but we address it when we talk about what we got to do to handle it. But you could ask those guys individually. I'm sure talking on the plane, those guys just talking in their locker room. everyone knows how special Fred is this team as a player and as a person. So I'm sure there's plenty of them.
With Sky Moore out, does Jordan Watkins do punt return today and practice?
That he's back, he'll get a shot at it. So we'll see how this week goes. We still know that Sky's got a chance to play. So, but that stuff we'll evaluate all week.
There's a lot involved with that position. Curious, what makes Tatum a good candidate for that?
I think it has to start with how you play linebacker. Can you run? Can you hit? Can you make tackles? Can you cover people? I thought he did that at a very high level in college, and he's done it very well since he's got here. This is why he made our team. Was a 7th-round choice or an undrafted free agent. I'm not sure which one. Can't remember. But we've liked him since the beginning. He's shown that ability. I think it's been good for him to be behind someone like Fred and just see how he does it. And Tatum, to me, is so made of the right stuff, and he's so handled this year and a half the right way that I think he's definitely more than ready for this opportunity.
An opportunity for Nick Martin to get things.
Yeah, definitely a huge opportunity for Nick to get on the field. Just losing the linebacker and should give him his up. I think he's been good. He works his butt off every day, still working to find a way to get up, and this is his opportunity to get up. So see how this week of practice goes, and we'll decide for Sunday, most likely on Saturday.
With a Mike linebacker, obviously you have to be trained. It's a very specific thing. Is it Tatum, Bethune, Curtis Robinson? Kind of what is the pecking order there? Are there other guys that could reasonably?
It's similar to center. You have your pecking order, and Curtis would be able to do it. Probably as the third guy right now. Fred, then Tatum, then him. But just like a center, you don't always have more than one center. Sometimes you don't have more than two. I'm up on game day, so everybody's got to be able to go there if something happens. But who gets the most reps at it, and that would be the order of it.
Why was Isaac Rindo taken off of kick return? Was that a ball security concern?
A little bit of both. We just wanted to give B-Rob an opportunity. Nothing overly bad.
Uh-oh. He said, why was he taken off of kick returns, or was it ball security? He said a little bit of both. Kyle anticipated this question, but he was expecting something else. Because there was only one thing. He said, why was he taken off, and was it because of ball security? He said a little bit of both. What do you mean by both there, Kyle?
Got to be able to go there if something happens, but who gets the most reps at it, and that would be the order of it.
Why was Isaac Rindo taken off of kick return? Was that a ball security concern?
A little bit of both. We just wanted to give B-Rob an opportunity. Nothing overly bad for Isaac to lose it or anything, but nothing overly good to keep it. So we wanted to give someone else a shot, see how it went, and something we'll keep evaluating.
Is there a coaching point on fielding punts with Sky Moore? You fielded a couple more inside the 5. Is that a yes or a no?
That's a no. Big no. So we're still working on that.
All right, guys.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
You. All right. That's it for Kyle there. The next one that we're going to have is going to be Robert Saleh and Clay Kuby. No, let's go to the players first. Let's go to the players. Yeah, we'll do the players instead. All right. So it starts with Christian McCaffrey. And then after Christian McCaffrey, it's Kendrick Bourne. After Bourne, it's Eddie Pinheiro. And then it's Tatum Bethune. So I'm excited to see how this goes. Let's see what the players have to say heading into this week. Oh, let me put on the closed captions before I hit play. All right, here we go.
Christian, what would it be like to have George back on the field today?
Oh, it'd be great. I think his presence is felt in every aspect of the game, and his energy is so great. So it'll be great to have him back out there.
What's it like training with Bijan this offseason? Just watching the way his game is developing. What do you see?
It's amazing, man. I think when you see it in person, you realize why he is who he is. You can go on about how great of a player he is, but I think just watching what kind of man he is and the kind of character that he has is something that I respect so much about him. He's a great man of faith, great leader. Does it the right way, and I have the utmost respect for him.
Do you see some of your game and his game?
I hope so. That's a huge compliment. I watch him move, watch him make a lot of these plays, and it's inspiring. So he's definitely somebody that when you watch him play, any chance you get, you can try to emulate some of the stuff he does.
Actually, I think after Bosa got hurt, you were asked, like, does the offense need to step up and fill the void? And you said, well, it's not like we're not trying to always score as many points as we can. But how do you keep from not pressing to do that, making sure that everybody's, staying on focus and doing that?
Just taking it one play at a time. Each play has a life of its own, and respecting that play and doing whatever needs to be done in that play, and having a lot of mental resilience and mental stamina throughout an entire game.
Is there ever conversations amongst the offense like, hey, there's even more shoes to fill now with Fred and Bosa gone, and the defense is going to have a little harder time at this point?
No, those conversations are, that stuff goes without saying. When you lose guys like that, it's, stepping up is, you got to step up. I don't think that means change anything. It just means be on your P's and Q's as much as humanly possible. But that's every day. So, it's obviously a huge blow losing those guys, but hopefully we can emulate their leadership, emulate the standard in which they play. And, I think I'm excited about these young guys coming up because, they have one of the best leaders in the world in Fred. And so they've been watching him do it, and to see them and watch them get an opportunity to do that would be exciting.
Christian, on Sunday you had a run to the right side where I think you just got clipped at the cleats and you slammed the ball to the ground. It looked like it could have been 70-yard touchdown or something. I guess obviously that's frustrating, but I'm sure that's not the only type of moment like that this year. Does stuff like that give you optimism? But as you say, you're close. The running game is close.
Yeah, I just got to make it happen.
Can you quantify just what we like seeing George back in a walkthrough earlier and how much uplifting it is?
That's awesome, as I alluded to earlier, he's not just so great as a player, but his energy, his leadership on the field means a whole lot to this team. So we can't wait to get him back.
When you've practiced against Tatum Bethune and D. Winters, what have you seen from them?
They run and hit. They have a high standard. They play the right way, and like I said, they've been watching the best do it. So I can't wait to see them.
Are you targeting like 142 at this point? What's up with the number?
Man, I don't know. God's doing something, man. He's working through me, but just working, being prepared. Good things happen, when you prepare. Shout out to the guys. It's not only me. It's a collective group thing, and I'm just trying to help the team, man. And it's kind of just been happening.
Going through these wins, they've all been pretty close.
Yeah.
Just wondering, now that the defense has taken such a hit with both Nick Bosa and Fred Warner out, amongst the offense, is there any extra added pressure to put more points on the board to solidify more wins this season and not kind of rely on the defense to kind of win at the end?
Yeah, it's a good question. As offense, we want to, offensive minds, like having an offensive-minded coach, we want to lead the team. Like, we're always competing with the defense in a good way, like we want to be the leaders of the team. And once you're competing like that, you're going to play good as a collective group. So, we want to put up points. We want to do the right things. And, it's more pressure now. Like, it always is, but now we got to, keep carrying our workload and doing what we need to do to just help the team win.
Well, speaking of that, you and Mac Jones seemingly have quite the synergy out there on the field. So between you guys, have there been any extra conversation of like things that we're doing this well, we need to do this a little bit better?
Yeah, me and Mac, we always meet, things like that. He tells me all the time, we texting, talking to each other, watching film and stuff like that. It's important. He knows where I'm going to be. I know where he wants me to be, things like that. So just keep growing, while we're in this position right now. And it's showing. So all the little things, they add up.
KP, this team, you, Mac, Tonjes, the defensive line have already had to step up. Guys that maybe didn't think they were going to be in the position they were going to be in have done that. With Fred now going out, what do you expect from Tatum? And what does it say about your team that you guys have been ready?
Yeah, Tatum, it's a big shoes to fill, but it's the opportunity, man. Just you think about injuries, you think about how people get created, how people get their chance, and it's usually how it goes in the league. Fred playing at a high level, so many starting snaps, a lot of film on him, so he can watch a lot of things that he can learn from, and he's been around them, so that's going to be huge. But everybody else, just the same thing, taking advantage of the op. Like, you never know when it's going to present itself, and the question is, are you ready? So it'll show itself. It'll show on film. It'll show how you moving, how fast you reacting, and things like that. So I'm excited for him, though. It's going to be good for him. It usually happens to the ones that are ready.
much more comfortable do you feel in this offense now than when you first came back?
Yeah. In the beginning, it was tough. But just getting comfortable. I know the movements. I know, my body knows how to move within the offense. So new terms. I didn't know Clay Kubiak before I got here. So learning Clay, how he operates and things too, was dope to learn. We've built a good relationship so far, and it's been fun. So new terminology, new words. But the body movements were pretty similar to my body transition.
Were you being asked to block this much when you were in New England? I know.
That's a great question. That's a great question. Yeah, so actually not. So I want to block better too, man. There's so many clips on the film, everybody look at the 142 like this. No, I'm just kidding. But like, it's bigger stuff than that too. I want to block better. There's plays to be made. There's more stuff out there that I can do better to like spring CMC and things like that. So I'll be just looking at those ones like, okay, how can I apply that better? But definitely didn't block as much in New England as I do here. It's a better system though to like with the run game. It's a different system, so I gotta apply different styles, just different angles towards the safeties and things like that. So working on that as I'm growing within the scheme again, and it's been fun. So, but that's a challenge for me, and I'm gonna take it.
Great answer.
By missing kicks, that's how you build it up.
All right,
by
MVP.
missing game winners and missing important kicks, and just creating a foundation. And at the end of the day, we're not gonna be perfect, and I'm enjoying the ride right now. So let's see where everybody's at when I'm not doing well. So let's see.
What's different about this team than other teams you play?
Yeah, my teammates here are amazing, and like I said, there's so many block kicks going around in the NFL right now, and these guys are just really working their butt off, to help me succeed. And the organization's been amazing, and just the support here has been awesome. And it really helps having a good snapper and a good holder here. So
when it comes to something like the 59-yarder or career high, is this maybe visualized ahead of time a little bit, or is it just something?
Absolutely, yeah. Just having confidence and knowing that you can make the kick, and knowing there's 2 minutes left. If you don't make this kick, you're going to give the other team good field position. And these are things going through my head as well. Just how important this kick is.
You kicked 77 yards in practice once.
Yeah.
Is that still in the foot?
I think so, yeah. I had a hurricane wind behind me at that time. So maybe we can get a windy game one day and hopefully try it out. That'd be great.
When we see a lower trajectory in your kick, is that intentional, or is that just the way it comes on?
Do you think it's a low kick?
Well, if it's not, it doesn't have the same. If it's like
That's right, Eddie P. Clap back.
I don't think I hit any low kicks. I think I hit a pretty decent. I think I have pretty decent height for sure.
You flash back to the 10 years ago or so when you were doing the 5 a.m. workouts with me. What was? You ever think back to like how far you?
Yeah, absolutely. My dad was a professional soccer player. My goal was to be better than him, and that never happens. But thank God this worked out for me, and I'm able to support my family doing it.
Is it just internal conversations you have with yourself after, or is there somebody else you lean on, or how does that actually kind of come out?
Yeah, absolutely. It's yourself. You gotta just be positive, and it's kind of just like tennis, like we're kind of in our own little world in our head, and we're away from everybody, and yeah.
So there was no buddy that you leaned on that you called after missing kicks or anything?
Well, my dad. Oh, you're asking who do I lean on? Absolutely, my dad. Absolutely. My dad, like I said, he was a professional soccer player. He's missed penalty kicks. He's made penalty kicks, and he's helped his team win. He's been the reason why they've lost, and my dad's just really helped me through this whole process.
Does he still help you?
Absolutely. Yeah, we talk every single day. I bought him a house 2 houses down from mine, so I got to keep him close.
Nice.
That's the only guy I have left in this world. So.
What does he tell you? What kind of stuff were you?
Yeah, just motivational stuff, like how far we've come, and not to forget where we came from, and things like that. Sometimes you get caught up into it and you just forget where you came from sometimes. So it just keeps me humble, keeps me on my feet, and just reminds me, you gotta keep working every single day, and you're up one day and you're down another day. So you're not as good as you say you are, and you're not as bad as they say you are. So.
Is he still working?
That's what he's always told me.
Is he still working?
No, he's retired. No, my dad will never work a day in his life again.
Why is that?
Yeah, because he's done everything for me. He's been there for me. He's worked his whole life to give us the best life. So now it's time that I give him the best life.
So you retired?
Yeah, absolutely. Retired him 2 years ago.
Like construction?
Construction, yeah. After playing soccer, he didn't have the best money management. and now he's got me. So we're good.
That is absolutely awesome.
They're calling you
Hold
De
on,
Niro
I gotta
Pinheiro.
pause it.
Now-
I gotta pause it. This line of questioning, forget the questioning, it's the answers. This is beautiful. Maybe it's the parent in me, right? Maybe outside of sports, listening to how he talks to his dad every single day. He brought him a house 2 houses down from his own. He's keeping him close, right? Like he didn't have the best money management, but he's got me now. And I don't know if you guys caught when he said his dad retired. He's like, yeah, I forced him into retirement, basically, right? Like, you don't have to work anymore, Pop. Like, I got you. Relax. You're never going to work another day in your life. That is beautiful. I have no idea how old Eddie is. I have no idea how old his father is, but that is a beautiful thing that we just heard there. That's beyond touching. So I'm going to give a round of applause to Eddie Pinheiro. This guy, wow, just wow. Right? Like, he is working his way up through the rankings, and as far as one of my favorite players, and I'm loving everything about this young man so far. So kudos to him, man. Just all right, I'll shut up because
that you now, mention that you retired your father. That's something everyone works towards when they set out to, accomplish a goal. If you could kind of reflect for a second on how much that meant to you to do that and how much it means to you to now be 2 doors down knowing that he's chilling at home.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it means everything to me. That's the goal. That's why I started playing football. That's why I quit soccer. Even though I love soccer, that was the love of my sport, of my life, But I knew that doing this, I can give my parents a better opportunity, to own a home one day, have a car, have a house, and have everything that they should, of what they deserve.
When did that happen? You retired?
Like 2 years ago, when I finally felt like I had enough to pay everything off, and yeah.
What was their reaction?
I mean, they were super happy, of course. They deserve the world, and this is why I do it. I do it for them, and if it's up to me, I'll live under a bridge. I'm okay. As long as they're living good, that's all that matters.
And just to have him at the game on
what a humble
Yeah,
guy.
it was really good. It was really good. And I haven't seen my parents in like almost like a month. Seeing my mom was super special to me, and being able to hug her, and it's just the little things. It's that sometimes we take for granted. I can't see them. They're in Miami, and just being able to hug her and hug my dad and just like feel them there, like just felt really good. So.
Have they been able to see you at games before?
Yeah, usually yeah. But my dad ended up, unfortunately, he had a heart attack a couple months ago, so he hasn't been able to fly. So
literally getting chills, guys.
He hasn't been able to come over here, but hopefully the doctor clears him soon, so I can see them. That'd be great.
What did your mom do?
My mom's a stay-home mom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do a couple more, Freddie.
How do you like the nickname De Niro Pinheiro, being that people are basically saying you're a certified football?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it if it gets the fans going and it makes them happy. At the end of the day, we're here to entertain and we're here to win and make them proud. So if that makes them happy, that's all that matters.
Eddie, today
this is, as a parent, right? Like, I don't want my kids to think, oh, I got to take care of my parents, right? You want your parents to be the solid rock and the foundation, and you go to them when you need help. And this is like seeing it come full fold. Now, when your children are adults and all, you want to know that you have embedded in them financial security and money management and things of that nature. And this is like that has to be a full circle moment for them, right? The dad was playing soccer and, didn't make the best financial decisions, and it's okay, Dad, go work in construction, which you're still going to make a good living on. And then your son says, I'm going to buy the house. I'm going to take care of it, and you guys don't have to work anymore. It's all on me. That has got to be a fantastic feeling, man. And hearing him say he's the only guy I got left, I don't really know what that means. I feel like there's something there, maybe a loss or something in his personal life, which, I'm sorry if that is the case. But the motivation is all the right reasons. It's all the right reasons. The family first thing, and then it's, you hear him talk about we're here to entertain and win games, and he's taken advantage of every opportunity given to him since he's been here with the red and gold. So I love it, man. Eddie, fantastic job.
The last day of Hispanic Heritage Month. What is your message to all the Hispanic fans of the 49ers and the NFL in general?
Yeah, just keep fighting if I can do it. Everybody knows that I'm from Nicaragua and Cuban, and just being Hispanic in general. If I have a shot to do it, they can too. And just I've embraced the whole Hispanic community here and love them very much.
Were they in your minds a little bit more in Tampa, knowing that they were there?
Absolutely. Oh, you're talking about my family?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I wanted to do really good in front of my mom and dad. I feel like sometimes I'm still a little kid. Like I want to perform good in front of my mom and dad. Like I want them to be proud of me, So having them there, I felt a little extra pressure because I'm like, no, I need to do well. Like they haven't seen me in over a month. I want to do good for my mom. I want to do good for my dad. And yeah, it felt good to have a good performance, even though we lost. But yeah.
How did you think it went the other?
Absolutely beautiful. I love it. That was great. That was great. Very much worth it. All right, Bethune, the floor is yours. That's a tough act to follow, and it's not going to be about that. I can already tell you they're going to ask you about filling Fred Warner's shoes and calling plays and putting people in the right position and all that. That's coming here. But I can't wait to see or hear this young man's mindset and how he's going to take this opportunity that he's being faced with now.
I feel like as a defense, we could have done better, like communication-wise and all just being on the same page. But as far as just playing relentless and keeping the standard, I feel like we always running ahead. We just got to be on the same page on those big plays that we gave up.
There's so much of a people in locker room describe as a gut punch with Fred going out there. For you have to go in there and fill in for him.
Yeah.
So what was your mindset going in?
Yeah, Fred, he's the leader of the team, not just the defense, So when he goes down, that's a huge blow to every single one of us. And we all are professionals, and we got to prepare like we're the starters. So I'm just being able to go in and just make sure there's no drop off when Fred comes off the field. And that's my goal right now. And I'm not trying to be like Fred. I'm just make sure I'm Tatum Bethune, and that's what I'm going to do moving forward.
Tatum, everybody talks about what type of leader Fred is. What sort of a teacher has he been for you?
Fred's been everything to me. A teacher, just a brother, just a friend too. Everything, the way he carries himself on and off the field. I just learned a lot from Fred. And I'm rooting for him. He's in good spirits right now, but our goal is to go out there and make him proud on the field and show him that the legacy and the standard that he set for this San Francisco 49ers defense is going to be up there.
Is there something specific that you've taken from him?
Just being poised and confidence in everything you do. That's what you want from a Mike linebacker, and that's what I'm going to do. I've always been confident. It's just more of a thing of just getting reps and understanding what teams are trying to do. I'm getting hang with that. It's going to be fun. It's a great challenge for me and G. We're both young. And we obviously ain't see a lot of football in the NFL, but we love to play football. We run and hit, and we're going to have fun.
Okay. All right. I mean, that's the right mindset to have, okay? But it's time to put your money where your mouth is, man. This is what I'm looking forward to seeing. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are like, oh, my goodness, like, we're screwed. The season's over. Guys, just pump the brakes here, man. There's one thing that the Niners do really well, and they find linebackers, man, and they find them all over the draft. 3rd round, 5th round, 6th round, 7th round, undrafted guys, like they find them. So let's see how it goes, right? Let's be sure to let's not judge too quickly, and let's see how everything plays out. All right, we're gonna keep this thing moving here. We're at the 40-minute mark. I know some of you guys are watching live, and you want to get to the Thursday night football game between the Steelers and the Bengals. And so let's go ahead and hear from Robert Saleh and Clay Kubiak. All right. We turn on the closed captions if it's available, not available. All right, here we go.
All right. What's up, guys?
He's not shaving.
What do you see from both Tatum Bethune and D. Winters and Sunday's game after?
I thought they did a good job. You know, they were running around hitting. Obviously, there was a couple plays I think we all we wish we had back, but overall, for Tatum, I think he did a nice job, and I think he'll be even better this week after having an entire week of practice. Hey, you're good.
Tatum was saying it's important for him to be himself and not try to be Fred. What's Tatum's leadership style like?
He does. You know, I think comparing people is always dangerous, right? Or trying to find.
See, and here's the thing. Does Tatum need to be a leader, or does he just need to be the Mike linebacker? And there's the big difference. I don't think that we're looking for him to be a leader. And that's, you know, when you're taking over for a guy that is and was a leader on the field and is a leader on the sidelines and all, people are expecting him to do all of that. No, this kid doesn't deserve to have that kind of pressure on him. We want him to go out there and make plays. And whatever the responsibilities are of that Mike linebacker, that's it. You don't have to be a leader as a Mike linebacker. A field general, kind of, yes, but that doesn't mean that you have to be a leader of the team. And that's what Fred Warner was. So I like that Robert Saleh has already said, like, the comparison game is dangerous. Like, we shouldn't be comparing him to Fred Warner. Regardless of how well he plays or how poorly he plays, the standard isn't Fred Warner's level of play. The standard is, you know, knowing your assignments and executing. The leadership and all that stuff, that shit comes much later. And so if we're expecting this young man to be a leader straight out the gate, we're doing something wrong. So let's you know, reel in the expectations a little bit, and be realistic with what we want to see from him. Sound football, sound decision making. That's it. I'm not looking for this young man to be a leader. I'm not even looking for him to be a motivator. That, to me, that's what a leader is. A leader motivates the players around them. He doesn't need to be that already. So Tatum, like, don't worry about that right now. Go out there, study the opposing offense, know your cues and all that are going to be on the defense, and make sure you are making the proper plays. All right, that's all we should be hoping for in this game.
What's Tatum's leadership style like?
He does. You know, I think comparing people is always dangerous, right? Or trying to find parallels. Fred's his own man. Just like when Fred took over, God, was it in 2018? He was after having a string of Navarro Bowman and Patrick Willis. It's Tatum's opportunity to go run the defense and run the show, and Tatum just needs to be Tatum. He doesn't have to make any plays that are spectacular. He just needs to make his play, and as he gets reps and he gets comfortable. A lot of people got to remember he's only in his second year. You can really call him a rookie because he didn't get much playing time last year. He's just got to bank these reps, see the game, and again, the more he gets reps, the more he sees, the faster he'll get.
Well said, Robert. Well said. Don't allow the media to put all this pressure on this guy. Don't allow the fans to put all this pressure on this guy. You got to keep this young man grounded and focused. And so it sounds it's funny, right? What's his leadership style like? And Saleh, he didn't want to say he's not a leader, but you saw him shaking his head no immediately. You saw him shaking his head no, right? I'm not going to replay the whole answer. I'll stop it and fast forward again. But listen, look at his
style like.
He does not. He
doesn't know. Like, he didn't want to say no, he's not a leader. And so this is what I love about Robert Saleh. He's so intentional with the words that he uses and chooses. And he's been like this the entire time I've ever watched him at a presser. Anytime he's speaking publicly where there's a microphone around, he's very, very intentional with what he's saying and his body language as well. And so way to take that pressure off of him already, Robert. All right.
Plays that are spectacular. He just needs to make his play. And as he gets reps and he gets comfortable, a lot of people got to remember he's only in his second year. You can really call him a rookie because he didn't get much playing time last year. He's just got to bank these reps, see the game, and again, the more he gets reps, the more he sees, the faster he'll get.
How close you are to Fred, and how close you are to Fred, and the fact that he's never hurt. This has never been that guy. How has this one hit you?
It does for Fred. He's a Hall of Famer, first ballot, period. and he still has so many more years left in the tank. And for it to kind of for this season to end the way it did, just shameful. But at the same time, I know we all know Fred. He's probably gunning to see if he can make it back for a playoff run. So it's he's in great spirits. Surgery went great. He's going to be around the building, I'm sure the entire time. But I hurt more for Fred than anything else.
Questions. One about Fred. How challenging is it to kind of make sure that the defense doesn't drop off with someone like Fred not out there? And then the other question, after you answer that one, Tatum Bethune, what is it that you saw in him that solidified him in your mind as the right next man up to fill this position in Fred's absence?
For sure. First off, with Tatum, Fred didn't practice throughout OTAs, so he had a lot of banked reps with the ones throughout OTAs, which is which is actually a benefit at this point. But Tatum's made of the right stuff. He works the right way. He communicates the right way. He does things the right way. He's very confident in his ability. And I've said this to a million people as it pertains to drop-off. I dare any of you to go to Tatum and say, well, you're a backup, so I expected it. Tatum doesn't see that. His teammates don't see that. Every player in that locker room believes that they can start and they can play at a high level. They just need an opportunity to do so. And this is now Tatum's opportunity. And the growth that he'll experience between now and week, however many weeks are in NFL season now, Game 17 is going to be significant. I can promise that. And and I'm excited to see him grow throughout this process.
What makes someone a good fit to play middle linebacker in your
Their ability to communicate. We've kind of narrowed it down. Back when I first got in the league, the Sam backer was like 240 long, at the edge. Will linebacker was kind of smaller and fast, and the Mike linebacker was kind of in between. I believe it was 2019 when we shifted the profile to just, they're all the same guy. Whoever speaks and communicates the best is the Mike linebacker. And so in this case, Tatum is next up.
Robert, you guys have made some clutch plays on defense to finish off some wins, but are you racking your brain trying to figure out how to get more production out of the pass rush and the secondary?
We're always, it's been obviously frustrating because I feel like we've had our opportunities to get some hands on some footballs and get some interceptions. It's just been feels like one of those years, but they come in bunches. But as far as the pass rush is concerned and coverage is concerned, we're always trying to find ways to do it. Thought we did a good job for the most part against Tampa. We had the 3rd and 14, and Baker's been doing it to everybody, getting out of the pocket. We picked up a sack. So but to answer your question, we're always trying to find ways, for sure.
Go back to Tampa and just explain what happened on the play where you didn't have the right defensive end in.
Yeah. From a communication standpoint, between special teams and getting guys out on the field, like I said, shameful that it happened that way from a communication standpoint, and so I'm always going to beat myself up off that because that starts with me.
As young defenders played really well, I thought in the second half there were some busts. How do you get them to kind of play loose and fast at all gas, no brakes, but then still the attention to the details so you don't have those busts?
The speed at which you want them to play is go. I don't care how, go fast. You're going to make a mistake, go fast doing it. The detail comes with reps. And, so with these young guys, the last thing you want to do is cripple them. The beauty of them is that they're explosive, they're fast, they're hungry, it's a race to be the first to the ball. So you don't want to pull back on that. It is so to answer the first part, it is full go 100%. And you just stay on the details and you just keep coaching it and coaching it and coaching it. And eventually all the little things that are happening from a mistake standpoint that cost you, whether they cost you touchdowns or explosive plays, like a couple did in the game, you trust that if they just keep the mindset, keep that full speed mentality, and stay attentive to
Yeah, we clear, we good?
What the fuck is this? And they didn't even stop like the presser. Like they let them keep talking.
details. Eventually those will cancel out. The mindset, keep that full speed mentality, and stay attentive to the details. Eventually those will cancel out.
I have a follow-up to that. The rookies, obviously, a lot has been expected of them this whole time. Do you have to caution them in some ways to not press when guys like Fred and Moss are going to try not to do too much and kind of keep on their path, so to speak?
I don't think they know any better. They're just going out there and they're playing the game as best they can, and a lot of times they're just playing off of pure physical ability. There's a lot of things happening mentally that they're still unaware of. You know, and get into a whole dissertation as to why the second-year slump happens, because now they think they know, and they lock themselves up, and they forget why they were so good as rookies, and they're just out there playing. And you know, so there's, like I said, there's going to be mistakes. They're going to gain some scars, but as long as they're getting those scars at 100 miles an hour, you trust that eventually they'll learn and maintain their speed while executing at a very high level.
Coach Kyle Shanahan was asked about Pinnock and the difference in snaps in week 6 versus the weeks previous, and he kind of mentioned that Jair kind of earned that role. You can just kind of speak to what you guys saw each week from Jair when he was taking more snaps in special teams that kind of helped him to kind of thrust himself back into that position. Yeah,
Jair's been consistent, and you know, and to be clear, like that spot's not dead. You know, like the one thing I'll say is that Malik is starting. You know, and as we continue to build up his rep count to get him to where he needs to be from a conditioning standpoint, although he's conditioned, it's anyway, long story on that one. But as Malik transitions into getting every single snap, that is the one common denominator, in that he'll be starting. On the other side, you know, Tig's done a really nice job throughout training camp and throughout the first 3 weeks of the season, giving himself the ability to step in there and earn the trust of his teammates and his coaches, and now he's got an opportunity to shut the door at that free safety spot. But and it's nothing against Siegel or Pinnock. They've both done a really nice job. It's just giving him an opportunity, and eventually, as we develop that group, we'll find the right combination of guys to compete.
Beyond the obvious talent of the running backs, what's kind of made the Atlanta ground game so successful?
Yeah, their O-line is arguably one of the better ones in football. Very talented group. I think they're very well coached. They're doing a really nice job creating issues in the run game, creating lanes, creating space. The backs, obviously, both of them are outstanding. They're different style runners, but they're both outstanding, and they do a great job scheming it up. So all-encompassing. Their receivers block. Their O-line is pretty damn good. Their backs are special. So, and then you got to respect the quarterback, because he is able to off-play action pass, make you pay, and the receivers can make you pay in the pass game. So they've done a really good job building it. They've done a great job coaching it, and the players are doing an outstanding job executing it.
What do you think of
Charlie Warner? Did Charlie Warner stick out to you as a blocking tight end?
He's doing a lot. He kind of feels like I don't want to say exactly the same as Juice, you know, but he does a lot for them. And whether it's in the backfield as an extra running back to allow Bijan to be a receiver in third down, whether it's a lead fullback, whether it's getting out and pass route, whatever it is, whatever there is that they're asking him to do, he does it, and he does it at a pretty high level. So he's been impressive.
And a guy like London in the quick game, it seems like they're going to him in the quick game. Why is that so hard to defend?
He's such a big body. You know, he's a massive man with great length, strong at the catch point, strong. He's just strong overall, and then at the catch point, his hands are strong. So he's a difficult matchup.
This Fred Warner has really, his leadership obviously is very strong. Is part of it was speaking after the game to the game. Does that carry over, and does it linger? Does it continue on even in his absence?
Yeah, because I think he'll be around the locker room. He's not. I texted him the other day. I was like, "You ain't dead, you know. Like, you can come still hang out, grab a cup of coffee, and shoot the shit." But no, he's Fred's special, and like I said, it's unfortunate, but it's someone else's time, and it's their time it's their opportunity, and really looking forward to seeing all these guys grow in their roles. We can do one more. You've been trying.
Thank you, Salah. Hold on. See, that was also really, really great. I hated that it was last question and we're asking about Fred again. He's not here. Stop asking questions about Fred Warner now, all right? We get it. And this is going to be the first, enough already. This is not like, oh, I don't want to talk about injured players. We got to stop harping on it. So I love that Salah was giving someone else an opportunity to get the question in, even though, the controller was like, all right, that's it, last question. Give one more. It does not have to end about Fred Warner. Now, I don't know what the question is going to be, but like, damn it, like enough already. Like, oh, Fred Warner, is he still going to break down the team? Fuck, no, he's not. Like, we don't have to ask those kind of questions anymore.
Really looking forward to seeing all these guys grow in their roles. We can do one more. You've been trying.
Special teams will have a lot to do with it, but is there an opportunity for Nick Martin now that there's a spot that's
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Nick's had a great week of practice so far. It's only been 2 days. Hopefully he finishes it off strong tomorrow, but I thought today was outstanding without looking at the tape. Flashed in one-on-ones, flashed on special teams, and he flashed on team defense. So he, again, continued to grow, continue to find ways to get better, and see if he can carve out a role for himself. All right, guys. Appreciate you.
All right. Next up is going to be offensive coordinator Clay Kubiak, and he is coming right to the podium. I won't even have to cut, pause, or anything. All right, so they're adjusting it, and then he is walking up. He's literally there. Like, what are we doing?
All right, ready to roll.
Impressions of Kendrick Bourne and the strides he's made since he's been here this year?
Yeah, kind of the same things we've been saying. He's real impressive. The way he's, how much he's playing, given how short a time he's been here, and he's been kind of forced into that role because of the injuries. He's just super competitive. He's making plays. It's not perfect. There's stuff he's got to clean up every week, but he's totally like bought in, and he's just getting better. He's learning, and he's competing, and it's showing up on the field on Sunday. And so he's been a huge contributor for us, and just really cool to see that, and happy to see him keep getting better.
Holberg's defense, you pretty much know what you're going to get. He's going to play a lot of man, and he's going to bring a lot of pressure, and that's what the numbers say. What does it look like when you watch it?
Yeah, they play man. They definitely bring a lot of pressure, but then they have their shell coverages, and they mix it up, and it's really, really good defense. It's very sound. They're really athletic and young, and they play with a lot of passion, and they make plays, and it's everything's tied together. And the reason why I think they're ranked number one, or depending on which metric you use, they're up there, and they're really good. It's a huge challenge for us, and we're getting ready for it, but it's going to be very challenging on Sunday for sure.
I know you go into each week wanting to put points up on the board, but just wondering if, given the state of the defense, losing 2 cornerstones in Bosa and Fred Warner, is there any added emphasis, any added pressure to kind of score more, take more advantage of the red zone possessions?
It's not added pressure. I mean, yeah, we always want to score more. It doesn't matter what's going on the defensive side of the ball. We got to do our job. I think if you start thinking about anything other than that, that's when you kind of get distracted from that goal. So I think our goal is to continue to get better. We want to score more points. We want to be more efficient, and keep believing in what the defense is doing and just play our game. So.
Was kind of lamenting yesterday the lack of explosive plays that you guys, the numbers would suggest that as well. What have you seen in terms of not being able to get those as often as you have in the past, and how can you kind of get there?
I think it's harder in general to get explosives in the league now, the way defenses play. I think, people are so, it's such an emphasis on defensive football to just limit explosives. So that's a big part of it. Some of it is just luck. Some of it's just missing something here, missing something there. It's not something you try to overcorrect or anything. You think those will come your way if you keep playing the right way. I truly feel that way. I think they'll come in the run game. I think they'll continue to come in the pass game if we keep playing the right way and getting better. So.
How has Kittle looked so far this week, and how can he be helpful in that regard?
Oh yeah, I mean, he's looking good. He's great to have him back out there. He's been working back into practice. He's definitely one of our most explosive players. That definitely helps. To answer your question.
The untrained eye, it looks almost like Mac Jones just hit the ground running for you guys. But do you see him making progress every week and getting better still?
Yeah, I do. It's really cool. And this week he didn't get to practice a lot last week. And this week you see more progress because he's practicing, and even he owned that. Last week he needs to practice, he needs to keep getting those reps. He gets better every week, in my opinion. He gets more comfortable with kind of our operation, our offense. He gets more confident. So it's cool to see a player ascend that way and just continue to grow.
Watkins had a good camp for you guys, and then had a couple big injuries, and he's working his way back.
Yep.
How much would you like to introduce him into this, into your offense from scrimmage?
Definitely, we love to. He just got back this week. We got to kind of see where he's at physically and work him back in. And then it's a slow progression, and we would love to get him out there on the field and contributing for us. And he's a guy we we really liked in the offseason. We liked how much he got better. The setbacks happen, but he's got to continue to push himself. Kind of where Ricky was last year, where you got to grow and you got to keep pushing yourself and practicing hard, and eventually your time will come. So.
Similar with Jordan James, what does he need to do to kind of get himself into the mix too?
Yeah,
he had injuries also.
It's the same. You got to keep working. Jordan's been stacking some really good weeks here. He had the injuries in camp, but this past month he's had really good practices, and he's a guy who's going to be ready to go when his number's called. How things shake out on game day with the numbers and how many backs we dress, that's things he can't control. But his time will come. I feel that, and he's practicing really well. And when his time does come, I'm excited about him. So.
You haven't had Kittle. He's obviously a great all-around player, but maybe you get a better appreciation when you don't have him. What would you say is the trait that you really do appreciate most about his game?
Yeah. I think you mentioned the explosiveness. I think that's one thing. When the ball's in his hands, his ability to separate from guys, George accounts for a lot of explosive plays in our offense just because of his athletic ability. But just how good he is in the run and pass game. He's not a guy that fits into a box. He does both equally very well, which means you don't have to take him off the field. You don't have to adjust what you're calling because he's in the game. He can protect, he can block the run game, and he's an elite passing game guy. And I think you definitely miss that. You miss a tool like that when he's not out there, and when he's out there, we really appreciate it. So, yeah.
Kind of a random question, but both Brock and Mac wear the wristband with the play sheet on
Yeah.
it. And what are kind of the pros and cons of doing that, and why do you guys like to go that way?
Yeah, it's definitely not we don't do it in the off season. We don't wear the wristband because we want guys getting used to hearing calls and then being able to paint a picture in their head of what we're calling, and whether it's the formation, protection, run game, whatever. We want guys to just get comfortable with the verbiage. When you get into the season, you start to talk about a lot more, checks in our can system. You start to talk about more motions and different formations and getting guys lined up in a certain spot, and the wristband kind of takes care of that. And so I guess what I'm saying is the verbiage picks up once you get in season, and the wristband can be necessary for that, especially for Kyle to call a play that's very verbose, and then the quarterback to have to call it again. It just takes time. So for us to just tell them, look at the wristband, look at this number, it saves us time, and it can get everyone kind of in the right spot. So I think it's just a necessary thing. I think a lot of people are using it now. So
You guys kind of to set a base in the off season, and then you can build off of that.
totally. Yeah, in the off season, we want guys listening and learning and being able to recall,
Getting what you want takes hard work. Pilates, cold plunges,
These
facials, but some things are just easy.
Broadcast
With Verizon
things, they should at least
Wristband,
pause the
Kyle's still-
damn.
You can build off of that.
Totally. Yeah, in the offseason, we want guys listening and learning and being able to recall, you hear it and you recall it and you can communicate it in the huddle. We still do that. Not every play we have is wristbanded. Kyle's still calling a lot of plays to the quarterback, but in the offseason, we want to train him to hear and then to be able to regurgitate it back to the offense. So.
Tom just has had a great couple of weeks here. Did you see that potential in him this summer? And what has been the key for him outside of opportunity to kind of unlock what he's been able to do?
Yeah, we've always been excited about Jake and what he's been able to do in the pass game. As in the off season, we really like those skill sets. We needed him to grow in the run game, and when George went out and he kind of stepped into that pass game role, we loved how he was producing. But it's been cool to see him grow as a complete player. What to attribute that to? I think he's a guy who's taken advantage of every moment out there, and he gets better from it. The moment's not too big for him. He steps up when we need him to, and just a guy, the more he's out there, the better he gets. And, we're real happy with where he's at. So he's a big contributor for us.
You feel the chemistry between Mac Jones and Bourne right away at practice, and you see it now when you watch film of the plays?
Yeah, you could tell just their relationship. They're real comfortable with each other, but it took KB a little bit to kind of get caught up to speed just because he was so new to our offense, being away for so long. But you can tell those guys are they're locked in together and they have a great relationship. So yeah. All right, guys. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
Okay. All right. Well, that's going to do it for that. There are no more people to hear from. Here's my overall takeaway, man. The Niners are actually really looking forward to this game. We saw players, we saw coaches, and I think one thing that everybody has in common is confidence. And I think every team going into a game is pretty confident, right? I think that's fair to say. I think before the game starts, everybody feels like, hey, we had a shot, right? One of the most famous football quotes is, "That's why you play the game," right? They say things like that all the time, and so we should expect similar, you know, emotions and levels of confidence prior to the game starting. Me personally, there's something about when Robert Saleh comes to the podium and his head or his face isn't quite as shiny and perfectly bald as it is, right? He's spent less time grooming himself and more time really putting together an effective game plan. Maybe I'm looking into it too much, right? But when we saw Kyle, he's up there and he's correcting things that are, as far as questions that are being asked and all, and he runs down this whole list of injuries, but he didn't seem frustrated with reading it, right? Even a little bit of light at the end of it. Oh, never mind, these guys were full participants. Let me stop. Because there was a lot more names on that injury list, but they happened to be full participants. You know, so the biggest takeaway is the confidence, but I sincerely believe the Niners win this game. And I'm not talking about an Eddie Pinheiro walk-off field goal either. I'm talking about like the Niners by 5 with them getting a cheap score at the end, right? Where we're up by 2 scores, up by 12. And, you know, they're up against the clock. And they get in the end zone and we get the ball back and they're out of timeouts. And we can just take some knees and some victory formation. Niners by 5 type thing. I think that the run game looks a little different with George Kittle in there. I think the pass game even looks different, right? Because now I don't think George Kittle's going to get 3 receptions in this game. I just don't think that. I don't think that they want to chance him getting hit, right? And he's going to get a target or two because you got to keep teams honest. I wouldn't be surprised if George Kittle's the first target of the game, if I'm being honest with you, just to put it in their head like, oh, shit, George is really back. But you kind of fall back away from it. Maybe use him a couple times on that first drive, but then you go away from it later on. And Kyle has done things like that this season. Now, this last game in particular, it didn't work out for us, but the entire first half, no targets for Jawan Jennings. We hear about the little blow up on the sideline, whatever it was about, who cares, right? But in the second half, it was 1 target, maybe 2 for Kendrick Bourne, and he was the guy, right? You saw the tide kind of change, and that's what I'm hoping to see, but in a smaller, not a whole first half. I do think that the run game can be better. I like that they're experimenting with the return man, right? With the whole Sky Moore not being out there anymore, and maybe someone else is going to get opportunities to return some punts because this guy keeps fielding punts inside the 5. Like, he just keeps catching these damn balls and running. Like, what are you doing? Let them go over your head. Heels on the 7, and if it's over your head, you let it freaking go, right? Like, he's just not doing that anymore. Heels on the 5. If it's over your head, then you let it go. He's not doing that. And so the team is still continuing to grow. We are not going out there and just going through the motions and running the same things over and over. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. They are adjusting, and they are making live in-game adjustments. And those are the kind of things that are going to pay dividends throughout the remainder of the season. I want to remind everybody of this schedule. I want to remind everybody that while the Atlanta Falcons, yes, they did just knock off the Buffalo Bills, right? They haven't been impressive all year long. They're not blowing anybody out. In fact, they're the only, if you look at their schedule, there was 1 blowout on it, and they were the recipients of the blowout, right? Like, 33-0 against the Panthers. That's not a knock on Carolina. We'll see them later. That's not a knock on Carolina. However, the Panthers aren't 33-0 good. It tells me that this Falcons team is beatable. They're very, very beatable. And I've got more confidence in Brock Purdy or Mac Jones than I have in Bryce Young. And I've got more confidence in guys like Ricky Pearsall, who may not play. I don't think he is going to play, right? But guys like Kendrick Bourne, right? Than anybody that the Panthers have out there. And I've got more confidence in Christian McCaffrey than anybody that the Panthers have out there. And so when we go into this game, it's not just about being a blind 49er supporter and a faithful. I've got a gut feeling about this one, and my gut has been 100%. And I worked hard to convince myself that we were going to win this game against Tampa Bay. I mean, I'm talking like the night before, 2 days before the game. I was like, all right, fine, I'll take the Niners to win. I never felt it, though. I never felt it. This one, I feel. And my gut has been undefeated this season. My gut said the 49ers end up winning 14, 13 games or so this year. I'm sticking with it. We only got 2 losses. It's only 2 losses. And there's a lot of season left, and things are getting worse as far as the roster goes, but then all of a sudden, here come the reinforcements. And so the reinforcements are coming back on the right side of the ball, the offense. And yeah, the defense is not giving us a lot to look forward to. I understand that. No pressures on the quarterbacks, no interceptions. I get it. I promise you guys, I get it. But just last week, we didn't have any rushing touchdowns, and all of a sudden, we do now. They can't hang that over our head anymore. And so I'm looking forward to the adjustments and the changes that are happening in season. I'm very, very grateful for the opportunity of the depth on this team to get these chances that they're all getting. I'm very excited about that. I know it doesn't sound like something that you should be pounding the table for and celebrating and all that. I get it. I really, really do. I do get it, and I do understand. But I think that the Niners can still catch people slipping. I think that the Niners in that schedule, I think we can win these games. We can win them ugly. This offense has not been clicking. We have not looked good. We are not winning the normal ways, right? The Niners go out and they beat teams by 2 scores. That's our thing, right? 9, 10, 12 points. We're not doing that this year. We're not. We haven't hit our offensive stride yet, and that's beyond encouraging to me. I can't speak on how you guys feel, just me. And we don't have the players out there that we want to, right? We are championing guys like Eddie Pinheiro, the kicker off the street. We are championing guys like Jake Tungus, right? A champion off the street. George is back. Pinheiro is cemented now. He's in here. He's in here. And even when you listen to him talk, like, yeah, they love me right now. Let's see if they still support me when I mess up. I love hearing that because he knows it's coming. He knows it's coming because his dad is going to tell him, you're never as good as you think you are, and you're never as bad as they say you are. That is a phenomenal quote. And I've heard it before. And he says, I aspired to be a better soccer player than my dad, and I never was. So I went this way so I can support my family. And that's what he's doing. He is supporting his family. And I'm here for it. I'm here to enjoy it the entire ride this season. There is no game that the Niners are going into this entire season where I'm like, yeah, we don't have a chance. Even the game that my stomach doesn't tell me we're going to win, I still felt like we had a chance. That's a damn good situation to be in, guys. So let's get ready to ride, man. We're on to Act 2. All right? Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode. Shout out to the Patreonians that viewed this one live. I'll make it available for the rest of you guys in a couple of hours, and then I'll make this available on YouTube afterwards, all right? But in the meantime, y'all know the message. Prepare for glory, anticipate pain, but always remain faithful. Peace.
We all gas, no brakes, pumped up, no fakes. We spinning, we winning, we high stakes. We never miss, we all makes. Look at us dudes trying to prove, bringing you news with nothing to lose. Mike, Nick, Tony, Wayne, Method Man, we bring the pain. Hey, see, I'ma confess it. We under the pressure. If you looking to find us, we them nothing but Niners. Niners. We nothing but Niners. We nothing but Niners. We nothing but. We them nothing but Niners.